Welcome to the Mixed Media Mania video hop. The hope is that you might discover some new to you art and artists here on YouTube, whilst filling up your art boots with lots of ideas and inspiration too. Along the hop there are lots of giveaways and a chance to win some arty goodies from these companies, as well as from some of the artists taking part. So check the description for more information on how to enter and what is up for grabs. Now I have the next person in line to hop to linked at the end of this video with a playlist of everyone taking part to make it easier for you to find them all. You can also find the links in the description as well. And for those of you new to my channel, my name is Dellow and I've got a spring-inspired canvas board project with lots of different ways to use your water-soluble crayons, like the Neo Colour 2 from Caran d'Ache, although you can use whatever water-soluble crayons that you have in your stash. So to give you an idea of the scale, this canvas board is 12 by 12 inches. I just started off by blocking out a square of colour. Now I wasn't really sure what colour I really wanted to use, so I just went for it. I wanted to start, so I started with a light blue colour. Now I took some extra care to blend the outside edge of my crayon so that I wouldn't get any of that loose crayon marks on the surface. And I'm just using water here to spread the colour in from the edges. Once that layer of colour was down, I knew that I wanted to break up the background with some more colour, but in a way that was also going to frame that main image. Now I didn't want the frame to halo the flowers, so I'm putting it just off centre, and this way it will counterpoint the flowers but also draw the eye back to them as well. Well, this is the plan, so we'll see how it works. That apricot pink colour adds a nice contrast, and to make sure that it doesn't mix with the blue or sit as a transparent layer over the top, I'm using titanium white acrylic paint this time to pull the colour from the crayon line, and hopefully we'll end up with a lightly tinted apricot circle. Now once the circle is dry, we can add more colour to it or some texture, whatever we like. I'm going to go for some loose stencil texture at this point, but it doesn't have to be detailed. So I'm adding colour directly over the wet stencil, then moving it through the stencil with more water. And this way I will just get a hint of the pattern of the stencil. It's really just there for texture more than anything else at the moment. So once I quickly dried that off, I then used the stencil again and this time printed the colour that was left over on the stencil directly onto the circle. Now it's time for a little more detail, and this time I'm going to go in with a little bit more care and use some gold acrylic paint with a sponge through the stencil. And then I'm just going to let the whole thing dry whilst I work on my main image. seems fitting to use up some of the gel printed papers that I did a few videos ago using the gel press and water-soluble crayons. So if you missed that video, I've linked it up in the cards and in the description, so bookmark it to watch when you finished watching the video hop. I'm going to make a really simple vase shape. I wanted to keep it to the size of the gel print, so I'm cutting a piece of layout paper to give me an idea and a guide as to how big I should make my vase. And I've made sure that my vase is a wide-necked one, as I plan to put a lot of flowers in my bouquet. Now the vase has some lovely subtle texture from that gel printing, and I don't really want to cover this up, but I do want to make the vase look like it's three-dimensional. Well, a little bit anyway. So hopefully it will look like a fine pattern china or an opaque glass vase with a little bit of pattern. I mean, as we've got that pattern there, we might as well utilise it. So I'm adding in a little bit of shading into the areas of the vase that I think will be the darkest to give it a more realistic look. Now the flower heads were cut from a mix of different gel prints. These flowers are going to be quite stylised. And all I'm going to do to give them some life is to add in some lines using the crayon, and I'm going to pull and blend some of that colour out with a little bit of water. So think of it as adding shade to the darkest parts of the petals. And some of the flower heads already have some texture from the gel printing, and hopefully this will just add a more collaged look to that final piece and hopefully some interest too. Once my flowers and vase are finished, I actually decided to change up that first background colour and went back in to give it a greener tint. I just felt that that would work better with how the vase has turned out and the colours that are already there. So now it's time to arrange my paper pieces into the spring bouquet, and also I've cut out some sprigs and some foliage too to go with it. Now I tried out a few different placements for the flowers and kept a photo of each arrangement so that if I liked the first arrangements more, then I could easily capture them again. It's a really handy trick if you don't already do this yourself. When it came to gluing the pieces to the board, I didn't want my bouquet to be flat, so I've used dabs of gel medium on the back of the flower heads and the foliage to let them be slightly raised from the board. And the vase was the only item that I used a thin layer of gel medium rather than dabs. I hope you enjoyed this project. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. Don't forget to check the description for information on the video hop giveaway and comment to be in with a chance to win. I'm back on Sunday with my next art video. If you enjoyed this video, then please do like it and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss my next one. The whole Mixed Media Mania video hop playlist is here, starting with the next video that you need to watch in the hop. Have fun hopping!